Off to a solid start. Hi, I'm Nicole, and welcome to episode 15 of the Nicole Stitches podcast. I am a left-handed crocheter, knitter, and general crafter coming to you from Northern Virginia, where I work and live with my fiance and our cat, Webster. You can keep up with me on Instagram at NSP Designs, on Ravelry as she writes things, on Pinterest at NSP Designs, and in my Etsy shop, NSP Designs, where I make and sell handmade project bags, notions pouches, and other fiber accessories, as well as original crochet pattern designs. There's also a Ravelry group for the podcast. I have it linked in the description below. You can head on over there to find show notes and links to everything. There's also an Ask Me Anything thread where you can ask me anything. And there is a Get to Know Us thread where you can tell us a little bit about yourself. And it's generally just a good time to congregate, a good place to be if you want to get involved with the podcast. If you are a return viewer, welcome back. And if you are a new viewer, welcome, and thank you for choosing to spend a little bit of time with me. This week we have lots of exciting things going on. I have the first winner of our monthly pattern giveaway to announce. I also have a finished object in progress on two of my works in progress that I talked about last week, and my new start. So I'm gonna get started right off the bat by announcing our monthly pattern giveaway winner. If you are new, this is something that I'm starting to just give back to viewers of the podcast and to pattern designers whose work I enjoy. Every month you can enter a giveaway to receive a copy of your choice of any pattern that I have worked on over the past month and featured on the podcast. Because this is the first one, the winner once again gets to choose whatever pattern I have worked on for the whole life of the podcast. I am going to, I have already closed the Ravelry thread. That's where you will find the thread every month to enter. I will set one up for September. I'm probably going to set that up tonight or tomorrow, which is a little bit early, but I'm going out of town and won't be able to have regular internet access, and I want it to be there. So you should be able to find a September giveaway thread in the group very soon. That will be open so you can enter again, but I will put the name of our August winner on the screen right here, and I will be getting in touch with you to let you know that you have won, and you just need to tell me what pattern you have chosen to receive, and I will send a copy of it your way as soon as I can. If you happen to respond to me after I have gone out of town, you will get it when I get back, and I'm very sorry for the delay, but if you're able to get back to me before we leave, then I will try to send it to you before I'm gone. And so that's our first winner. Congratulations. Thank you so much to everyone who participated in the giveaway. I can only hope that it grows bigger and bigger every month, and that this is something you all enjoy. So with that out of the way, I'm going to get started, and for the second week in a row, I have a finished object. I talked about this last week a little bit. This is my first ever knitted shawl project that I ever started. It is quite a few years old at this point, and it was mostly done when I set it aside, never went back to it, and then I found it again last week in an abandoned, awful project bag in my closet, and I decided that it was so ridiculous how little was left to do that I just decided to finish it. And here it is. I am not super sure how to say the name of this pattern, so I'm just going to put it on the screen. It is a pattern by Kemper of junk yarn. She dyes wonderful hand-dyed yarn inspired by women, and she hasn't put out a pattern in a while, but she had a stint there where she was kind of putting out patterns pretty regularly, and she put out the shawl pattern. This actually, I believe, is free on Ravelry now. And it's a very simple, very fun pattern. It's just alternating sections of garter and drop stitches, and it grew quite a bit with blocking. So what happened was, the yarn that I'm using, I'm all over the place. The yarn that I'm using is by AndreSueKnits, who no longer dyes yarn, but this was a skein of hers that I picked up. It was one of the first indie dyed yarns that I ever bought, and it was called Sea Urchin, and it is beautiful. And this, I only put in like 2 or 3 more rows from what you saw last week, and then I was going to be out of yarn. So actually, I'm in here talking about knitting. All right, I had a slight interruption because my fiance got home from work, so we had to have dinner, and we watched a little bit of TV, as is our custom, and now I am trying to talk more quietly with the door closed so I don't disrupt him, and he's watching TV quietly in the other room so that he does not disrupt me. But here we are. I was talking about my finished object. I also have coffee now. I'm waiting for it to cool because I just made it and I don't want to burn my tongue right before vacation. I'm going to set this down for a second. Okay, so I finished this. I only ended up having to do like 3 more rows when I picked it back up again, which like I can't believe I let it sit for that long. I actually did not finish the pattern as you're supposed to. You're supposed to do, the drop sections are, they look like this. There are 3 rows of drop stitches, and here at the edge I only have 2. I was not going to have enough yarn to do the way you're actually supposed to end it, which is like the full 3 sections of drop stitches and then a few more garter. So I just wrapped it up with some garter rows, and then I bound off using Jenny's surprisingly amazing stretchy bind off thing. And it actually grew a lot with blocking. I was very pleasantly surprised. It's not one of those huge shawls, like it's not a find your fade proportions, but it's perfect for like doing this, which is what I do with my shawls. Really, I don't wear them kind of the traditional way around the shoulders. I wear them like this. So this is a great size, especially for transitioning seasons from summer to fall. I don't need a lot of bulk. I just want a little something right here. It's perfect. I'm very excited that I finally have finished. It blocked out wonderfully. It's so soft, and I'm really pleased. So that is my Jocassee shawl, and that is a finished object for this week. 2 in a row. Possibly will not ever happen again, but we'll see. I'm going to move on to works in progress. After many weeks of sitting idle in my project bag, here's my, ooh, I got yarn right here. Here's my project bag that this work in progress is living in. After several weeks of not making any progress on this at all, I have finally gotten to put in a lot of dedicated work on this project. This is the Goldfish Memory by Casapinka, and this is a 3-color rectangular asymmetrical wrap. And I think last time I showed it to you, I was kind of stalled in these wider stripe sections. I had stopped working on it because I was trying to finish up my Camp Wilkerson wrap, but I have put in lots of work since then. As you can see here, I have finished the gray stripe section, and now I'm on a thinner striped section. I'm doing some stockinette stripes. I have, I think, 5 or 6 more striped alternations. That's not a word. I have 5 or 6 more sets of stripes, so maybe like 10 more total to go, and then I will be on to the next pattern section. This is all on Hedgehog fibers, sock yarn. The orange color is Rusty Nail, the white is Urchin, and the gray is Method. And I am using, so we are flying to Canada to leave for vacation on Saturday morning. We are flying to Vancouver and then boarding a ship there on Monday to a Alaskan cruise, but the port is in Vancouver, Canada. So for a couple days we will be international, and we are flying on 2 airlines that I've never taken before. And while I have flown a lot in the past couple years, especially on a couple different airlines, and I've flown domestic and international flights, I've had metal needles in my bag, my carry-on, on all these flights, and I've never had anybody say anything to me. So I'm not super worried about it, but something told me, just in case, that I might want to switch out for wooden needles, partly because my go-to needle set that I use was a gift. I have a set of Haya interchangeable needles that was gifted to me by my fiance's mom for Christmas a couple years ago, and that is a very nice set of needles, and I don't want them to get confiscated by TSA. So I decided that since, you know, technically they're supposed to be okay. If you check the TSA website, it says that knitting needles are okay, but you never know, and it kind of just depends on your airline and your TSA agents, and you can never be, you know, too careful. So I picked up on Amazon a couple of pairs. I am bringing 2 projects with me, and so I picked up 2 pairs of Chiaogu wooden needles. I picked 1 in each size for the 2 projects that I'm bringing. One of the projects is going to stay in my checked luggage, but I got a pair of wooden needles for that one just in case I decide to switch and have that one in my carry-on on the way home and put this in my checked bag. So these are Chiaogu wooden needles. I don't love wooden needles, and I never really have. The only ones I'd used before were the Clover ones that you can get in the craft store. These are a step up from that. I just find that it's slower going on them. Some people I know, like, it hurts their hands or it hurts their fingers. These are very sharp at the tips. Like, I've had to kind of adjust the way that I hold my fingers with these wooden needles because I was kind of scratching my fingertips a little bit, very lightly, but I had to make that change. It goes a little slower because it's wood, so it's smooth and everything, it's finished, but it does kind of hold on to the tiny fibers a little bit more. But I switched this project onto wood needles early so I could get used to working with them and decide if I hated them and was just going to risk my metal needles. But my plan is to pack my metal needles in my checked bag, and then when we get to our destination I can knit onto the metal needles, have my metal needles while we're on vacation, and then I can knit back onto wooden for the flights home. So this is my Goldfish memory, and on here actually is one of the little acquisitions that has come for me this week. This is a tiny fruity tropical drink. I think it's some type of fruity lemonade. This is from Little Bitty Delights. My fun Instagram fiber friend Amanda, she makes beautiful tiny polymer clay stitch markers, and we did a swap last week. I sent her a pizza project bag from my shop, and she sent me a couple of Progress Keeper stitch markers, so that's pretty good. I will tuck that back away and move on to my next project, which is I introduced this last week as a new start that I hadn't started yet, but now I have started it. This is actually in a project bag that I made myself, especially for our trip, because we are taking a Disney cruise. I found this fabric, and I was very excited about it, and I made it for myself. It features vintage, I think these are actually images of the posters that were used to advertise the movies at the time, but vintage posters for Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, and Cinderella. My favorite Disney princesses are Snow White and Aurora. A little trivia about me, so I was very excited about this fabric, and I grabbed myself some. These will not be going in the shop as a regular item right now. That might change in the future, but probably not. They're a licensed fabric, and while technically, legally, it is okay to use licensed fabrics to sell items, as far as I've found, it actually is okay to do that because of the rule of first purchase or first sale or something like that. There's a legal rule, but technically, apparently, it is okay. A lot of companies that license the fabrics, especially some bigger, richer, powerful companies, will try to take action against small shops that use licensed fabrics like this. So just to avoid all the hassle of doing that, I only make items from licensed fabrics like this for my own personal use, or if someone requests it specifically. I don't sell it regularly in my shop, just as a thing. I'm sure you care deeply about that, but here's my Disney bag. I'm very excited. And in here, first are my wooden vacation needles, my travel knitting needles, if you will. These, again, are from Xiaogu. They're very inexpensive on Amazon. And I'm gonna forget that I put those there. Mark my words. Here is my progress on my Exordium shawl. This is a pattern by Rebecca Picoult, who I just put together was Fuse Fiber Studio. I'd heard of Rebecca Picoult. I'd heard of Fuse Fiber Studio. I never realized that they were the same person. That is that person until the other day on Instagram when my mind was blown. But anyway. This is my Exordium wrap by Rebecca Picoult of Fuse Fiber Studio. And last week I showed you the yarn I was going to use. I didn't even have a bag yet, but here we are. This is the progress I've made so far. Not a ton, but I did want to get it started. I am just getting into one of the fancy stitch sections. This stitch intimidated me a little bit in the pattern pictures, but it is actually super simple. It looks harder than it actually is. It's very easy. And these are on some of my Haya interchangeables, but I will be switching them over to my wooden Xiaogus at some point, just in case, if I decide to bring this in my carry-on. And for this project, I am using Old Rusted Chair in Bus Station 4 AM and SpunRightRound in Dirty Denim. So I think that these two look really nice together. You can tell them apart. I think on camera that it might read that this is all the same yarn, but there is some striping going on here. I don't know how well it will read on camera. You can definitely tell in person if you're looking for it that they're two separate colors, or maybe I can tell because I know that they are, but I kind of like the subtle effect that it kind of fades into each other. It's not like a very obvious, striking, contrasting striped look for this. I like how this is coming out more subtle like that. And that is my Exordium wrap. I definitely plan to work on this a lot more on vacation, so I'm hoping that the next time you see me for a podcast update, I will have lots more to share with you on this. And, oh, I took the pattern out. And my last work in progress is a cross stitch project. I've been working on this for a couple of weeks now, and I have made a lot of progress on it this week. I've been trying to save my hands a little bit. I've been feeling some repetitive stress pain from knitting a lot, and so in my evenings when I'm done working at my job and I'm done working for my shop, I have been trying, instead of knitting, as I have been in the habit of doing for a while, I've been trying to cross stitch to save my hands and fingers. And so I've made a lot of progress on this, and I am almost done. So I've made a lot of progress on this, and I'm almost done with the first page of the cross stitch pattern. This is a pattern by Satsuma Street on Etsy. I will link it below. It's called Pretty Little Baby, and it is a baby sampler. And here's what I have so far. I've made a lot of progress from the last time I showed it to you, and I really, really love it. There's a little bit more that's going to come down here. You can see I've put in a few stitches down here. I was just trying to use up some floss. And then there will be room down here for a baby's name, and it will be very, very sweet. If you have missed my previous episodes, this is a gift. My best friend's nieces were just born this summer, twin girls, so Rachel and I are each making one for each of the girls. So that is my progress update on that project, and again, I'm hoping to make a lot more progress in the coming days before we go away. This is not coming with me on vacation. I'm only bringing knitting just because I don't, for me personally, cross stitch is something that I have traveled with before, but I prefer to travel with it by car only. So I am just going to travel with my knitting, and this will be waiting for me when we get back. And that is all I have for works in progress. Okay, so I think that is everything that I had to talk about. I will move on to reading progress really quick. I am still reading The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis, and to rectify my grievous butchering of this quote from last week, the quote that is kind of the driving concept behind this book that is on the back here is, "The female of the species is more deadly than the male." That is a Rudyard Kipling quote. Rudyard Kipling, the name may ring a bell, he wrote The Jungle Book. He was a terrible racist, and I don't condone his beliefs. But it's just a quote on the back of a book. This is very good so far. I'm making some good progress. I'm a little over halfway through, and I am really enjoying it. It is a book about teenagers, and I'm 27. I'm about to be 28, and so a lot of books that are about teenagers and high school stuff don't always grab me. They definitely can and do, but it kind of takes a really good writing and a good story to get me into it, and this has that. So this is very good, and I would recommend it if you are into, there is a crime element to it. There is definitely, first of all, definitely like feminist overtones and crime, murder elements to it. So if that sounds like it might be your jam, I would recommend this book. I'm going to see if I can finish that before we leave. Probably not, and I will definitely have some reading to do on vacation as well, so I will hopefully, again, have lots of updates for you when we get back. That is pretty much everything. As I've said 37 times in this video, I'm about to leave on vacation. We leave very, very early Saturday morning. We're going to have to get up and out of here at about 4:30 a.m. on Saturday, which is very exciting. We have an early flight. We will have a brief layover in San Francisco, and then we will arrive in Vancouver, spend a couple days there, and then we will board our Disney Cruise Line ship to a 7-day Alaska cruise, which will be very exciting. I have found a yarn shop in both Vancouver and in one of our Alaska stops to visit, so I should have some yarn acquisitions to share with you when we get back. And I'm really looking forward to it. I have a video planned to go up while I'm gone. I'm going to figure out how to make that happen. It is not going to be a regular podcast update for obvious reasons, in that I won't be able to actually literally show you more progress and post it in real time. It is going to be a Q&A video. I've been asking for questions for a little while on Instagram and in the Ravelry group, and so I'm going to record that. It is just going to be a Q&A about me, crafting, etc., etc. It'll probably be a little bit shorter than a normal episode, and that's what will go up while I'm gone. I just didn't want to miss another week. I missed a couple this summer, and I wanted to have something to go up. So that will be that. And what else? I think that's pretty much, FiberShare is happening again. FiberShare, if you have not heard me talk about it before, is a big worldwide fiber swap. It's mostly organized through Instagram. You are required to have an Instagram profile in order to participate. That is FiberShare's requirement. And basically you fill out a little form with all your interests related to whatever fiber craft you're signing up for. You can choose crochet, knitting. They've added a bunch of categories. I think you could choose crochet, knitting, spinning, crochet, knitting, spinning, embroidery, weaving, and punch needle, and felting. I think those are the categories you can pick from now. So you pick one, you put in a bunch of information like your preferred fibers, your favorite colors, yarns you're interested in trying, things like that. Little trivia about yourself to get to know your partner, and that is given to someone who matches up randomly. And they put together a package to send you, and you are matched up with a different person, and you send them a package. It's super fun. This is my 4th round. I'm very, very excited about it. I really want to grab something in one of my vacation yarn shops from Canada or Alaska to stick in my FiberShare package for my partner, and just share that with them, because I think that would be pretty cool. And it's happening right now, and once again, I am very fortunate to be a featured shop through FiberShare, which means that I will be on the FiberShare website. You can find a link there on the site to my Etsy shop. I also link my Etsy shop in the video descriptions and the show notes for this, but anyway, if you're perusing the FiberShare website, there I'll be. And there is a coupon code to my shop for FiberShare participants. The coupon code is Dare to FiberShare, and that is good from, I think, September 8th to October 8th. I am pretty sure that those are the dates. It's basically just active during the window when FiberShare is happening before everyone has to mail their packages. So that is very exciting. I feel very lucky that I was able to be featured once again. I was featured last round, and I get to do it this time again. I'm always happy to offer a coupon code to FiberShare participants as well. So that's going on, and I'm really pleased, and I hope you are participating. If you couldn't register this round, definitely sign up for the next one. It's super fun. You're not required to spend a ton of money. I think my partner last round sent me almost all yarn that was from her stash, and it's all gorgeous, and I love it. So don't worry about that. There's a minimum requirement that you have to send, minimum number of grams, but you don't have to go buy a bunch of stuff. I usually make my partner a lot of things. I have also sent my partner's yarn from my personal stash before. So you can definitely be very cost efficient in doing it. It doesn't have to be a big expensive thing. You can totally do that if you want. Many people do, but it does not have to be. Don't let that hold you back. And that's pretty much it. So that is my episode for this week. Thank you so much for sticking with me. Congratulations to the pattern giveaway winner. I'll get in touch with you soon. Again, if you were a new viewer, thank you so much for stopping by and spending a little time with me. If you are a return viewer, thank you for coming back. If you'd like to keep up with me, please hit the subscribe button below. Follow me on Instagram. That's where I am most active, and you can definitely get in touch with me there. And you can also join the Ravelry group. It's small right now, but I'm really hoping that we can grow it and become a fun little community of nerdy, yarny people. And I will see you in my Q&A video, and then I will see you next time. I hope I have some fun stories and yarn and pictures to share with you. Have a great 2 weeks. I hope you get lots of crafting done, and I will see you next time. Bye!